Suddenly, anxiety and sadness invaded the poor bee, and through tears, praying, he asked God, "Why do I feel so empty? Why have you abandoned me?" It all started in a sunny forest full of animals, where a little bee had just graduated from bee university. "I will be a great construction bee," the little bee said to himself as he said goodbye to his family to go to work in a honeycomb closer to the city. At first, with the novelty of the new job, the bee felt excited. In the first days he strived to do the best he could. However, over time he stopped making an effort, he no longer arrived as early, and she even began to think that her work was not worth it. And so, in a sea of negative thoughts, the bee went to work on his honeycomb day after day with little encouragement, without an internal motivation to make an effort. During the summer, he had too much work to do. He felt suffocated by so many flowers that he had to cover, and the requests from the boss queen bee did not stop. To relieve his stress, the bee looked for a way to escape, so in his little free time he did not rest much, but instead fed excessively. Other times, he would hide to consume tobacco plants and fly to the city to drink many drops of alcohol. During the winter, it was the complete opposite. Since he had almost nothing to do, he felt useless, and every hour in the honeycomb he was bored to death. To relieve her stress, the bee also sought escape, so he would go to town to watch funny colors on human screens for hours. He then flew from here to there, traveling to many places and seeking to mate many times, even though he didn't really love anyone. Although both seasons were very different, the bee always ended with a feeling of internal sadness, of being fed up, of existential emptiness. And so the nights passed, in which the bee was only with himself. The entertainment was no longer working, he could not escape, and in his mind, he asked himself, "Why don't I enjoy what I do anymore? Will my work be worth it? Why try so hard? Will God be punishing me?" Suddenly, anxiety and sadness invaded the poor bee, and through tears, praying, he asked God, "Why do I feel so empty? Why have you abandoned me?" From heaven, God took pity on the poor bee. Then, he subtly appeared before him to tell him the following. "Dear bee, I want you to know that I understand your pain. Even men as capable as the prophet Elijah have felt terribly tired. I must confess to you that, since you were born, I saw a unique being, even according to my heart. That is why I put a little of my essence in you, as I did with humans. Therefore, you are a special bee that has the tools to grow. I gave you intelligence, will, emotions, and the free will to choose what makes you happiest. In the winter, when work is very easy, you can choose to challenge yourself, advance tasks, and study how to be a better bee by doing better what you already do. In the summer, when work is very difficult, you can enjoy the time you saved while completing tasks. You can delegate some things and value breaks more. And as for breaks, you should know that there are pleasures and vices that can easily take away your happiness. So, when you go to enjoy something, you should ask yourself, does it ultimately replenish my strength or drain it? Would I enjoy my best version with this? Am I happy while I do it, or am I just miserable when I don't? Thus, you will better choose the enjoyments of life. Finally, I want to tell you that the most beautiful thing I gave you was freedom, that aspect of my essence that gives you merit in deciding what is best. So, just as I am happy creating, you too can be happy while creating your world, creating your honey with love, creating valuable relationships, creating admirable health, creating a broader mind, and in short, creating a life that you love live. I love you, little bee, enjoy creating. And so, the little bee felt incredible peace in his heart, as he remembered how much Father God loved him. From then on, he decided to apply his advice to his life, making the easy times a little more challenging and making the difficult times more peaceful. When he had free time, he preferred to pursue hobbies that made him happier, such as exercising, meditating, reading, praying, and spending quality time with his loved ones. It didn't take long for him to stand out in his work. Now he was with a smile on her face. The other bees were impressed with his improvement and were also applying those strategies. And finally, the bee was able to dispel the emptiness that he felt in his heart and continue improving, enjoying the path and loving more the God who guided him deep in his heart. The end. Moral: the story of the bee that felt empty teaches us valuable lessons about motivation, purpose, and how to enjoy work. Sometimes, life places us in very stressful jobs, like beekeeping in the summer. It is easy to neglect our personal life and suffer from burnout syndrome. Other times, life places us in boring jobs with too many downtimes, like the bee in winter, and since leisure is a breeding ground for vices, we can also sink into harmful habits. Therefore, we must lead our own soul, we must make good use of the cycles of life. Every day we can decide to rest better and create better. And most importantly, to find happiness at work, we must be in harmony with our true inner nature. Dear reader, perhaps you have also felt a void, a feeling that what you do does not fulfill you. I have felt it too. But when we remember that we are made in the image and likeness of the Creator God, then we will understand that we will be happy creating. Creating contributions for others with our talents, creating relationships that fulfill us, and creating a life worthy of children of God. If you liked this video, remember to comment on what reflection this video has left you. I also leave the link to the previous story that you will surely like as well. A hug, dear reader.